Christian Fong here. I want to talk about efficiency in government. You know, conservatives so often talk about streamlining government, getting rid of bureaucracy. Too often that comes across as sounding like what we're willing to do is cut services. My experience says that it's possible to cut and streamline government and then make it more service-oriented so it serves Iowans better. Let me give you my personal example, my own experience of having seen this done. In 2008, when the floods hit in Cedar Rapids, the city website went down. Corridor Recovery, which was the flood disaster management group that I started, was asked to put together a common database so that government could talk to each other. Different agencies within city government and then different layers of government from the federal all the way down were working off of a common database. They found out they really enjoyed it because it's not something they were used to. When their systems started to come back online, they still came to me and they said, hey, we need this data field updated. I remember one particular example, one group did that, and I said, you know, that department that supplies the data is just downstairs from you. Why don't you go down and ask them? They said, well, we don't talk to each other. In fact, we don't even have the same computer systems to be able to see what each other are doing. This is within the same level of government. The next generation tools are easy to roll out. And here's just a really straightforward way of doing it. Let's get the computer systems within government to a single platform, if possible. It's ridiculous that there's 7 or 8 or 9 different platforms so that government departments and agencies can't even speak to each other. It encourages the sort of turf wars and bureaucracy that government is famous for, but is completely unnecessary. Secondly, if we're ever going to get to having searchable databases of government expenditures and government activities, then we're going to have something that the public can search through, and having multiple systems is not friendly. Even if they strictly comply with open access laws, it's just not accessible. They're able to hide behind complexity, and that's both unnecessary and unfortunate that happens. Finally, let's put in place a culture that government works together. Not just within departments within a single layer of government like city government, but that city and county and state are all working together, able to see what each other are doing. That way, if you go in and you have a conversation, say with the county about a zoning issue, the city and the state can see the needs of you, the taxpayer, and make sure that things happen on a very efficient basis instead of you having to have that same conversation with the city, with the state, and so on. This is just my idea. My experience is that government can become more efficient and thus serve you better, as opposed to what some would have you believe, that making government more efficient actually will lead to fewer services. It doesn't have to be. The conservative solutions in this case are going to make life better for Iowans all across the state.